Welcome back to New Africa Farming. The most expensive wall in the world is not built of stone or steel. It is built of a currency printed 6,000 miles away. For 60 years, the blood and sweat of the Sahel have been drained into cold vaults in Paris. African children were brainwashed to believe their survival depended entirely on the crumbs falling from Western aid. But on March 1st, 2026, that rusted architecture of dependency was shattered forever. Right in the red dust of Ouagadougou, the investment bank of the Alliance of Sahel States, known as the AES, officially opened its doors. This is not just a building. It is the final nail in the coffin of the colonial CFA franc. And the consequence is a geopolitical earthquake. For the first time in modern history, the United States, a global superpower, had to swallow its pride and send an official delegation to negotiate with men they once labeled leaders of failed states. Why did Washington have to bow down? Welcome to the greatest geopolitical chess match of the 21st century. The birth of the AES Investment and Development Bank, with a capital of 500 billion CFA, is the moment Africa's begging bowl was shattered against the rock of sovereignty. This is not a bank designed to manage poverty like the World Bank or the IMF. It is an engine built to manufacture wealth. Ibrahim Traoré and his allies understood a brutal truth. A nation that only exports raw stones will always be a servant. A nation that refines its own resources becomes the master. Instead of being passive landlords watching foreign capital loot their land, the state directly acquired massive gold mines. The result? National gold production has now exceeded 94 tons. And that gold does not flow to Switzerland. It flows back into hospitals, where citizens can now get kidney transplants without begging for Western funds. This is the economy of dignity. But do you know what the empire's most dangerous weapon is? Missiles? Drones? No. The most dangerous weapon is the dependency on imported grain. For 60 years, the West brainwashed the world into believing the Sahel was forever dry and starving. But the truth has spoken. During the 2025 to 2026 agricultural campaign, a nation supposedly under siege produced a historic number: 7 million tons of cereals. That is not just food. It equals over 126% of the national need. They don't just have enough to eat, they have a surplus. When a nation can feed itself, it can no longer be blackmailed by threats of sanctions or cut aid. Traoré's greatness lies in teaching his people to throw away the begging bowl and replace it with the shovel and the seed. And this leads us to the shocking event of February 2026. A U.S. delegation landed in Bamako. In the world of diplomacy, no one suddenly has an awakening of conscience. When Washington speaks of respecting sovereignty, it is because they have no other choice. This move by the U.S. tore apart the unified Western Front. By acknowledging the AES, the U.S. officially abandoned its longtime ally, France. France could only stand by and watch its sphere of influence completely evaporate. Why was the U.S. in such a rush to make peace? The answer lies underground. Mali just emerged as the second largest producer of lithium in all of Africa. Lithium is the new oil, the lifeblood of the green energy and electric vehicle revolution that the West is desperately craving. The U.S. realized if they continue to sanction and isolate the Sahel, this entire treasure trove will fall into the hands of Russia and China. This visit was not an apology. It was a tactical retreat to fight for the resources of the 21st century. But the AES saw right through this game. They didn't close their doors to the world, but they changed the rules. They forged strategic alliances with Russia, Turkey, and China. Instead of sending rogue combat units like the West used to, these new partners bring engineers. The "we will fight for you" model has been buried. It is replaced with "we will teach you how to build the machines so you can fight for yourselves." With the support of Russia, Burkina Faso is moving towards nuclear energy. From a region cursed by the West to live in the dark, they are now preparing to generate their own light. True independence is not found in slogans. It is found in the ability to plug into a wall and know that the electricity belongs to your own nation. What is happening in the Sahel is not just survival, it is the birth of a new industrial empire. When a group of nations once labeled failed states can force a global superpower to admit its mistakes and respect their absolute sovereignty, what excuse does the rest of Africa have to remain on its knees? The dark night of neo-colonialism was long and cold, but the dawn has arrived, carrying the scent of lithium, the shine of gold, and a fire lit by the resilience of the people of Burkina Faso. What do you think of Traoré's spectacular checkmate? Does the US truly want a partnership, or is this just a new trap? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to New Africa Farming to witness history being rewritten with us. The chains did not just fall, they were shattered. See you in the next video.